kitchen. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Kate's in the Kitchen.
One of the last dishes I'm going to make for Cinco de Mayo is a roasted corn queso dip. We had steaks on the grill last night and roasted corn on the cob as well. So I took the leftover corn, strip it off the cob. I've got about 1.5 cups of that. I've got 4 ounces of shredded pepper jack cheese and 4 ounces of shredded cheddar, an 8-ounce block of cream cheese cubed up small, and then let it come to room temperature. It'll melt better. I've got a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. Do not use sweetened condensed milk. That's got sugar in it. It's going to ruin your queso. My husband also roasted a red and a green jalapeno for me, so I diced those up very fine. You can leave the seeds in if you want it spicy. Take the seeds out if you don't want it too spicy. I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of ground celery seed, 2 cloves of garlic minced up very fine, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. You can adjust these seasonings as you like. I don't want the cumin or the garlic or anything to be the star of the show. I want the corn and the cheese to do that. I just want the seasonings to lift up the corn and the cheese. So let's get started.
I'm going to start by putting just a little bit of oil in the bottom of this pan, and we're going to get the garlic going into here. You can see in the background there, I've got some soup stock going. I took the steak bones and threw them in the pot with some aromatics and water, of course. And I've just been letting that simmer all day long. It's going to be really rich, deep beef flavor, and I'll probably make a soup out of it. So we've got the garlic, and I'm going to add the peppers as well. Just going to saute these for about a minute just to get some of the raw flavor out of there. Now I'm going to add the evaporated milk. You don't want to cook that too long before you add the milk because we don't want the flavor of burned garlic. I'm also going to add my spices. And get those all mixed together. I'm switching to a whisk. I just want to get this milk warmed up. I do not want it to come to a boil. I don't want to scald the milk. I just want it warm enough to melt the cheese. When you see steam starting to come up from the milk, that means it's warm enough, and we're going to start adding our cheese. I'm going to start with the cream cheese. I am not going to add it all at once because it'll lower the temperature of the milk too quickly. This is an easy recipe. Just need a little bit of time and patience to let that cheese melt in. So as it starts to melt, I'll add a little more. And we'll continue on with that. I lowered the heat to about low. I want this cheese to melt slowly. I don't want to do it too quickly and it'll become clumpy or scorched. Once I have all the cream cheese in, then I'll start adding in the shredded cheeses. Before I add the corn in, I'm going to break it up because I have some rather large pieces here. It will come apart also inside the queso, but give it a good start here. Okay, I'm going to add the corn and continue to cook this until, see what I mean about a great big piece? I'm going to break that up. We're going to continue to cook this until the cheese sauce is creamy and smooth. You may notice if I zoom in, there are still bits of unmelted cream cheese. That's okay. It's going to melt as we continue to cook this. From the time you start adding the cheese, you should cook this about 10 minutes to get it fully incorporated and smooth. Okay, this is fully incorporated, but it's still a little thinner than you would want. I am going to turn this off for now and set it aside while I prepare the rest of dinner, and then I'll finish warming this up and it'll thicken up a little bit more as well. The queso has gotten much thicker. I'm going to give it a taste to see how the salt and spice levels are. And because it's got those chunks of corn, I'm pairing it up with tortilla chips that look like little bowls. The salt level is great, but it needs a little kick. Those jalapenos were not very hot. So you can add your favorite hot sauce if you want to make this a little spicier. And now it's time to serve it up. Time to serve up the queso. It's just the right consistency, thick without being gloppy. You could garnish this with some diced jalapeno or some cilantro, some chopped tomatoes, whatever you like. But I like it just as it is, and I'm going to give it one good taste here. Make sure I get some of the corn. The corn gives it that little extra sweetness as well as a little texture. Delicious.